has made significant impacts on supply chain execution, consumer experience, and smarter enterprise options. In his current role as partner at IBM Consulting, he currently leads a very large, globally integrated cross-industry managed team. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. And first of all, thank you for the opportunity to the government of Karnataka, as well as KDM for inviting me here. And we have been my name is Nisar Rayadurg, as you have heard. I've got my team also here with me. Our journey in what used to be called as Tier 2, and we call it Emerging Technology Centers, started around 3 years back, roughly the same time when we had the first event of KDM, the big tech show here. And I started as the location leader here with probably 10 practitioners. And today we are in the very high 3-digit numbers. And there are 3 key drivers for us to be at Mysuru and a few other cities. Our emerging technology center strategies are very, very clear. It is not just because of the cost arbitrage that we are going to be here. It is because of the sheer talent. We have not found any problem with respect to language, skills, leadership, management. My attrition is at all-time low. And at the same time, there is a lot of visibility right up to my headquarters in Armagh as to how we need to drive this. So this is across India. So we are going to add one more city. We are in 4 cities. We are going to add one more very, very soon. But Mysuru has been probably the first to show us the way. And if you actually reach out to my leadership team also, who is here with me, you will see that there are 3 things that stood out for us in terms of success. Number 1, fundamentally, our strategy of cloud technologies, AI, data, and industry and domain. I think this is what drives our growth in the services industry. We have had extremely fruitful outcomes in terms of growing this team. Number 2, the kind of solutions that we are growing here is not just relevant for India, but for the globe. So in terms of work, while we are there in most of the cloud technologies, ERPs, industry domains, what stands out in the future, we will be investing a lot in the AI, which includes Gen AI, as well as cyber security. I think that is a big ticket item. And Sanjeev, that is something that I will pick up with you separately, because that is one area which we are doing really, really well. And we also wanted to have our own cyber zone here. So definitely a great story. We are already servicing more than 70 clients from here, which is massive. There are, and that grew from 2. So from 2 clients to 70 clients in a matter of 2 years is really, really good, I would say. And across the 4 cities in India, we are doing more than 330 clients. So that's a very, very fast growth. And from being the employee number 1 into this initiative to now an employee which is in a slightly higher 4 digits, I think it is not just about the headcount growth. Most importantly for us, we actually see the next phase of growth coming from here. We have committed to ourselves, that is my performance appraisal as well, that we need to go 20% of our headcount in delivery in India will be in the emerging centers. It's as simple as that. And that's a huge number. I thank for the opportunity to be here again. Most importantly, we have got amazing help from Sanjeev and his team in KDM, and also from the IT Secretary's office, from the ministry. I am full of gratitude for the kind of support that we have received. And I'm always happy to come here to this particular venue. And I thank Vinayak for that. And it's amazing just to be here among not just professionals, but good colleagues as well. We'll be back here every single year with another step change in our growth journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. For our next address, I'm honored to introduce Mr. Jitendra Chadha, a distinguished leader in the semiconductor industry with 3 decades of global experience. As India country head for Global Foundries, he has driven strategies and innovations across multiple countries. Sir is also a passionate advocate for India's tech ecosystem, having spearheaded initiatives like the country's first hardware startup incubator and serving as a past chairman of ISA. Please welcome a true visionary in global semicon development and ecosystem building, Mr. Jitendra Chadha. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Uh, not that I'm lazy, but I think that's too much a corner for me, and I'm not used to having diocese in front of me. I'm not a that great a speaker, so I will just take a couple of minutes. I will not take much time. By the way, first of all, thank you for staying back. I live in Bangalore now, and after 4 p.m. we don't get audience at all in Bangalore. Everybody's think, or if we get an audience, they're thinking how much time they will take to get back home. So privileged to be part of this. Thank you very much, the government of Karnataka and KDM to invite me. Uh, so I'll just say a couple of words. I've been coming to Mysore and interacting with the industry for last 15 years now, since I moved back to India, and I have actually seen quite a bit of growth over the last 14, 15 years from where we started. Looking at, hey, can one GCC come in? Can we have 500 people, doing the technology work in Mysore too? Today, I saw some numbers, 25, 30,000 people working now in the tech industry, and we have a lot of manufacturing that is, developing here. So today I thought, I think this is the good time to, say a few things of some of the tech ecosystems I have been part of, have seen around the world, including Bangalore. And by the way, I am not from Bangalore. I live in Bangalore. I work in Bangalore. So this is unbiased thing. I'm not biased towards Bangalore. And so here is, I think I would talk about 3 to 4 things that you should look from Mysore perspective that could make Mysore a great, or Mysuru a great tech ecosystem, going forward. So number one, before I start even the 2, 3 categories, but one thing I heard in the morning, few people say, hey, compliment Mysuru can complement Bangalore, Bangalore plus one strategy, and so on. I have a different thought. Sorry if you don't agree with me, but I have to say it today because I think this is a pivot point for Mysuru. Mysuru need not to be in shadow of any tech ecosystem. Number one, if we start just following or trying to solve the problems that Bangalore has, I think the road or the vision will be too narrow. It will be just complementary vision to any other tech ecosystem. So the first thing I would say is Mysuru should now, we are in a space where Mysuru should have its own blueprint on what we want to put Mysuru in a tech ecosystem worldwide. And it should not be dependent on what is the problem in Bangalore and what we can do in Mysuru to complement it, right? So I will start with that. So we should have that from, so KDM can take a lead on it. And I would like, Sanjeev to really see how Mysuru can have its own tech blueprint going forward. The second, before I start on characterization ecosystems, I think if you look at any tech ecosystem in the world, you look at the Bay Area, it's called Silicon Valley at times. You take the Israel tech ecosystem. Sorry about what is happening in politically around Israel, but just from the tech ecosystem there, some of the European countries which have a great tech ecosystem, China tech ecosystem, there is one thing that is common. There is, in these tech ecosystems, it's not only one thing that ecosystem is doing. It's not they are only doing design, or they are only doing manufacturing, or they are only doing system integration. I think it's a very good amalgamation of multiple things that the tech ecosystem demands. And they are doing most of them together to make a tech ecosystem. So from Mysuru also, I think we should think of, if somebody says, no, Bangalore is doing design, I think Mysuru can do only manufacturing or should do manufacturing. I don't think that would be a right road to take. We need to look at the complete ecosystem built up. Some things will be slow, some things can be faster. So 4 things that each of these global tech ecosystems have that we should think of how Mysuru we can develop that too. Number 1 is the best research institutions are based very, very close to these tech ecosystems. And you can look at any of that in Bay Area, in Europe, even in China, and so on. So whatever colleges or the colleges we have in around Mysuru, can we upgrade them to doing the best of the research and industry impactful research that can happen. I think that is number one we should look at. Second one is there is a very smooth transition from academia to industry to policy making. It does not happen from policy making. It does not happen in India. We work very close with the government. Industry works very close, but policymakers don't come into the industry and start working in the industry. It happens maybe after retirement or later on. But in other ecosystems, academicians can move into the industry. Industry can move into the academia and have a very close relationship with the government or policy making. So I think we do great job with policymakers. You can see on the stage and the kind of time we get, the visibility we get with them. But I think academia to industry, how can that transition can happen smoothly for 6 months, people going back and forth, I think is a very, very big part of the tech ecosystems across the world that are developing. The third one, I would say, I think you can create a lot of technology. All of the world tech ecosystems, including Bangalore now, has the great adoption and risk-taking of adopting the technology. And this happens in the industry. The hospitals are using the very startup technologies. The governments are incorporating some of the startup technologies that happen. Israel is best in that. Bay Area is best in that, but it also happens in some part of Bangalore. So how can Mysuru local industry can not only develop technology but be a big adopters of that technology, right? So if we can incorporate these 3 or 4 things into the Mysuru and think of not being in a shadow of any tech ecosystem but develop its own blueprint, I think next 10 years we will start to see much more faster growth within Mysuru too. And finally, I'm from Global Foundries, so I have to, last time I came, I said we will hire 50 interns from colleges near Bangalore or near Mysuru, whatever colleges are here, we will take at least 50, interns, and I'm committed to it. All the educational institutes we are talking to. The second thing I can say today, we met few of the startups. Some of the startups are in the fabless design space. And if their products demand a test facility for manufacturing, the PDKs, MPWs, we will do our best to see how we can support the startups within Mysuru or any other tech ecosystems, right? So with that, I think all the best and always pleasure to be part of, to come to Mysuru. And now it's even faster. We can come in the morning, go back, and it does not feel like you have traveled to another city. So all the best to all of you and keep seeing you around here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. For our next address, I'd like to invite Mr. Vinayak Hegde, VP and Campus Head of Mysuru Infosys Campus. Over to you, sir.
Ellargu namaskara. So can I request all of you to clap for 10 seconds very loudly? And this applaud is for Government of Karnataka, ITBT department, and KDM in particular for enhancing the business and actually getting more and more business to Mysuru Tier 2 city. We were all struggling after the COVID, return to office. RTO is a major discussion topic in all the 18 companies, including Infosys. And we are all struggling to get 50% return to office. But I think thanks to KDM, they are getting 150% RTM, return to Mysuru. I think this hall is for about 450 people, but Sanjeev already told me that it is 700 plus registrations. Last year I was seeing that it was not really full, but this year it is full, plus we had to get another conference room outside to make it for 700, 800 people registrations. So I think thanks to KDM, I think great job. I think getting a lot of people enthusiasm over this Mysuru cluster and enhancing and the business opportunities for Tier 2 cities, and especially in this context, it is Mysuru. Can I ask a question? How many of you are not living in Mysore currently? Can you please raise your hand? Okay, quite a few. In Mysore, I'm the head of Infosys, as they said here in Mysore. And I can see that most of our employees go home for lunch and they come back, right? Including me sometimes. Don't tell this to my boss, but I do it sometimes as well. So we go home, have lunch during festival. I mean, many people, many employees, they go home every day in Mysore, they come back. And I'm sure some people who are actually living in and around Infosys campus, there are a lot of houses and societies nearby. A lot of people go for coffee and come back also. If they have a 7 o'clock client meeting, they go home, have a coffee and come back after snacks. So how many of you are having those advantages, staying in tier 1 cities? I'm sure, no, I think as somebody was saying, after 4 o'clock, in Bangalore or any other tier 1 city, you think about your metro, you think about how do you drive home back and all of these challenges, right? So Mysuru is a city which will give you all those opportunities. Mysuru is a city which is having beautiful, landscape, a lot of opportunities, a lot of greenery, and a lot of scope for skill building and upliftment of our knowledge base as well. So as the head of Infosys campus here, I do get a lot of clients here for campus visits. In the last 1 year, ever since I took over this responsibility as the development center head for Mysore, I am trying in my way to really sell Mysore as a city. Though I know more and more companies coming here in Mysore, I have the challenge of my attrition going up, but that is secondary. But I think I want personally, Mysore city to grow in terms of business opportunities. In fact, every week we get 2 or 3 very senior client delegates coming to Mysore, like CIOs, CEOs, and many large companies globally. The problem that I've seen in the last few years, or at least in the context of Mysore, is they come to Mysore because they want to see Mysore Palace, they want to see some of the heritage places in Mysore, and they want to visit Infosys Mysore campus, which is beautiful, as you all know, right? And they come here, they do all the tree planting, they do sightseeing, and they do the campus tour and all of that. And then if I ask about what is your plan tomorrow, they say that no, I have to go to Chennai, I have to go to Bangalore, I have to go to Pune next 3 days. This is my plan because I have to go and meet my employees in the GCC in Bangalore or Chennai or some other tier 1 city, right? So that is what I always talk about, saying that look at Mysore. Why don't we really look at Mysore as the as the place for setting up your own GCC in Mysore? Because then they ask me, do you get people here in Mysore? Then I show them, look at our own campus. We have about 20,000 employees in Infosys Mysore, including trainees. But if you look at only the employees per se, we have close to about 15,000 employees working here for global clients. So sourcing good talents in Mysore is not a problem. Infosys is an example. Then the next question is, do we get the space here? Do we get nice builder or good builders who can come up with a good facility here? Look at our campus. So do you see any problem in building a capacity like this? So I think that way, Infosys is a true example for many of our global companies to demonstrate that we can get talents, we can scale up business here, we can come up with beautiful infrastructure, we can do everything in tier 2 city like Mysore. And some of them are convinced as we speak. I was having a client call from 2 to 3:30 today. I was there in a client call where actually we convinced one of our global insurance clients to set up their GCC in Mysore. But Infosys as a company, we are also doing a lot of build, operate, transfer models. We actually help many of our clients globally to set up their GCCs. And then, we help them in talent acquisition, and then we run it for 2-3 years, and then we transfer it. So I think those models are coming up, and Mysore definitely has a place. Mysore definitely has a place in their business landscape, and we are all helping towards making Mysore more and more a reality in having more and more GCCs. And I think thanks to government of Karnataka and ITBT department and KDM, I think Sanjeev and team doing a fantastic job. So I'm sure Mysore cluster will do very well, and it will help all of us in seeing that reality of Mysore becoming another Bangalore, not in terms of traffic, but in terms of GCCs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next up, I call to the stage Mr. Neeraj Jain. Mr. Neeraj is the Country Director for India and Director in Growth Operations for Asia, Middle East, and Europe at PATH, a global non-profit that is working towards health equity. His impressive career includes transformative work at WaterAid India, the Child Investment Fund Foundation, and Westergaard Franson. A passionate advocate,
That's too long.
a very humble person at that too.
That's too long. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. It's just an absolute honor and a pleasure to be here. I must tell you, the last time I was in Mysore was about maybe 15 years ago. And I came to see the palace and do my sightseeing. And I came here last night. I'm just completely blown away with this city, with the people, with the kind of infrastructure you have. So I must congratulate you. It's absolutely fantastic. To tell you a little bit about myself, I'm based out of Delhi and I work for an organization called PATH, which was originally set up as Program for Appropriate Technologies in Health 45 years ago. It's one of the largest not-for-profit development sector organizations working in the health sector globally. And I run the growth for Asia, Middle East, and Europe. And I must also tell you, I think this is for you, Sanjeev, that we have to start working together here in Mysore because there is such a lot of potential. I mean, you know, with COVID, what happened very interestingly was people like us were never invited to these stages before COVID. And then COVID hit and we became the superstars, right? The rock stars, because public health became very important for everybody. Health became very important for everybody. Well, I shouldn't say thankfully to COVID, but I think what that's done is it's actually triggered an ecosystem of health technologies, of digital health, of new devices, of new IoT devices that is just going completely crazy across the world. And I must also say that India is actually at the center of all of this. I don't know if we are realizing this, but from where I sit, from Delhi, and when I meet innovators across the country, it is amazing to see the kind of stuff that's coming out of India. And, you know, I heard people talking about PCBs. I'm not very literate on technology, but, you know, I was like, Acha, that's the board on which the chips go, right? I heard people talking about semiconductors. I've heard people talking about cybersecurity, but I would really want to urge talking about complete products which are ready for market, health technology, which is the future. You know, that's something. And we've been supporting 70 countries across the world to develop their technology, health technology, infrastructure, and their background. We'd be very, very happy to partner with you on that. Recently, we've also started working with the central government on artificial intelligence for public health. So, you know, I don't know if any of you been to a public health center, any primary health center? Please raise your hands. Yeah, we don't typically land up there, right? You might have gone for a sightseeing visit. Yeah, so we don't go there because we don't believe that the services are good. We don't believe there's a person who's trained, who's sitting there. Technology can change that. So I think that's the focus that we need to have, that if we want to deliver health across not only India, but all low and middle income countries or the global south, we will have to use technology. And there are only two countries out there who can actually deliver at scale, China and India. These are the two that are in, you know, ahead. So I would strongly sort of push for Mysore to think about that. I'd be very happy to partner with you. As I said, there are so many innovations, and the innovations don't, you know, health is related to climate, climate is related to health. You've got nutrition here, you've got CFTRI sitting here in Mysore. We actually work with CFTRI. I haven't come here. That's one thing that I'm also going to plug for Secretary Ma'am. We need a direct flight from Delhi. This one was a bit long, so. But yeah, I think that's an important piece. The highway is beautiful, absolutely fantastic. But just to close, and I can see somebody's going to throw me off the stage very soon, strengthen local incubators to support entrepreneurs in solving for social problems. I think that's an important piece, really going down to that side. Social development's got to be important. It's got to be something we've got to think about. And also look at systemic change as you're looking at products. because the products will have to eventually go into system. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. And I really look forward to be back very, very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next up, I'd like to call Mr. B.V. Naidu, Chairman of Karnataka Digital Economy Mission, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Ekrup Kaur, Secretary IT, and my good friend JC, Mr. Neeraj Jain, Mr. Vinayak Hegde, and Mr. Nisar Raidurg, and of course all the people who are all been participant of this conference. And I'm happy to see the growth and the progress that has been happening in Mysuru in particular. I think Sanjeev quietly named this as a big tech show. He wanted to emulate the BTS of Bangalore, make it very large. This is also BTS, right? A big tech show as a BTS Mysuru, So I'm sure this will grow further and reach to the levels of what getting the global attention, So that's what I wish. Good luck on this, The second thing is I wanted to acknowledge the great work that has been done last 1 year, and with our Dr. Ekrup Kaur, our leadership from the government of Karnataka. She's been excellent in supporting and through the KDM reaching out to the industry, and also has been helping a lot. You must have seen a lot of action that has happened last 1 year, obviously happening through her leadership in the government. Thank you, ma'am, for that. And second thing is, I also wanted to acknowledge the people, the JC, Jitendra Chadha. He is, even though he's a part of that industry, we always consider him as a part of our team, He's just like our KDM team, And he drove this task group under the KDM and came out with a very nice logo for the, the Karnataka industry, the tech industry. And we released that logo, and that is getting popularized. And that is one of the reasons why there's so much attraction in terms of the ESDM industry, right? Thank you, JC, for that. And of course, Mr. Nisar Raidurg, Namanamaga, I think, thank you, Nisar, for choosing IBM to grow here. And I'm sure, it will be much more productive center for you with a lot of retention of the talent here in Mysuru, and you'll enjoy that, And of course, Vinay Hegde nicely put it down, what all great things that he enjoying in Mysuru. And then obviously he wanted to tell you guys that you are missing something if you're not in Mysuru, I think, Vinayak, thank you for that. And of course, Mr. Jain, I think, I didn't know about the path, thank you. And, there is obviously a lot of, the synergy between the healthcare platforms and the startups. We have a lot of startups in Karnataka. We wanted to do one, probably a cohort or exclusive for the path to identify the startups. And more so that we would like to some of the startups from Mysuru and other beyond Bangalore clusters to participate. Thank you for that. And we also have the global participation. I have Mr. Venkat Yerubandi. All the way he came from Dallas, and he represents this group called IT Serve, which is the 2,500 companies under the IT Serve, and all are our diaspora entrepreneurs. They are the people who created a very large, I think the 2,500 people probably employ around 2 lakh or 3 lakh people. And during the various discussions, he said that, we are all IT Serve people are fed up with the large cities, and we wanted to experience something smaller cities. Then we said, please come and experience what's happening in Mysuru. Thanks, Venkat, for coming here. And I also have Sudhir, he's a great man and great friend. And Sudhir has, I think, patiently listened to all the startup, the pitches, and selected 10, right? Give the names. We also wanted to look at them, right? So we'll popularize all the 10 companies across the VC community. And then we have Sanjeev Keskar, another great friend, he's been very supportive of attracting the ESDM industry to, the Karnataka. And Mr. Anil is also here. And he's very passionate. He wanted to bring make sure that PCB cluster would happen. So today's meeting, we had a very interesting meeting, and to my surprise, in a meeting of around 45 minutes, an hour, and there are 5-6 companies came together and said that tomorrow, next week, they wanted to meet Dr. Ekrup Kaur to formalize the plan to create a PCB cluster here. And then obviously Anil has drove that complete session, and we also have few other friends from the PCB industry. This is the great progress that I've seen, and I must tell you that I always used to feel that Mysuru has a very unique features. Not many of you are aware, right? When we started Mysuru STPS Center way back in 1998, there are only 6 STPs were there across the country, and 7th one we started in Mysuru. Even some of the state capitals did not have that. By then itself, we had an STP here, and it has grown since then. And the second is Mysuru always has a very balanced IT and electronics ecosystem. No other city in the country has that similar to that. Apart from what we have, the Capgeminis and the Infosys and Wipros and all the IT side, and we also have one software paradigm company. I always take that as a great pride for Mysuru, because this guy created a retail focused GCC here based out of Mysuru and sold that company to a large corporation, Sid Mukherjee. That way Mysuru has a lot of leads, right? And the second thing, not many of you are aware, there are 3 EMS companies, great EMS companies, and all these guys do a 2,000 to 2,500 crores of the defense offset that happens from Mysuru. Not many of you are aware, right? The defense offset happens from Mysuru, that has brought in a lot of uniqueness, and the Lahari test facility that is created here. Again, I must tell you, no other such facility is been operational till now anywhere in the country. This is the center that is operational and the industry is using, supported by the Government of India and Government of Karnataka. So these are all the very, very unique features that made the, Mysuru as a unique. Like I think our JC has mentioned what needs to be done. It became almost like a extension of Bangalore. And some of us will live in the south of Bangalore. For me, it takes only 1.5 hours to reach Mysuru. Whereas if I need to travel to airport, it takes me 2 hours. So obviously I'm happy. Like me, there are many people are there who feels happy to drive on this new road, Now, the last 1 year, I was asking Sanjeev, he has given a progress card to you, but I'm very happy that Mysuru could able to attract around 8 companies, and they are operationalized here, and there are another 20 more are in the pipeline for Sanjeev to chase. Another great work that KDM does under the leadership of the Sanjeev. I always tell Sanjeev, he is a high energy machine, He give him a target, he'll go behind the target. If you guys go and shake a hand with him, he won't leave you till you come to Mysuru or Mangalore or Hubli, right? Thanks for your leadership, Sanjeev. And also thanks to the KDM team as well. That made a lot of difference. Otherwise, we need to have a little more aggressive, proactive role that we need to play when we try to attract the investments here. That is happening, right? Now, this is not that, ESDM, great progress, and there is a PCB cluster. Probably it will come soon here. And earlier, Dholera, people have been talking about Dholera in Gujarat, and Government of India is pushing for a lot of projects there. I keep telling our team and Government of Karnataka, Mysuru, if Dholera can attract a lot of ESDM investments, why not Mysuru? Mysuru obviously had a lot more advantages than the Dholera, and I'm sure if there is some similar focus and the support come from the Government of India, even Mysuru can also grow soon in terms of the Karnataka is planning an EMC cluster here, and that EMC cluster will be very successful, and the PCB will be, park will be very successful like this. So in IT, there has been the progress. On the ESDM, there has been the progress. Among the startups, I need not tell you, there are 250 startups are there in Mysuru. Out of that, 40 people have participated in the pitches. I think 10 have been selected to go to the next level for the investors facing. And that's a great, including our, the Karnataka's Elevate program, there are not a lot of companies come from Mysuru. That way, the ecosystem is getting created. Now it is a snowball effect. In this snowball effect, all of us have some role to play. One of the things who do not have any facilities here, they must make sure that, they bring their senior management and showcase. Today, we met one large GCC, and he said after 15 years, he came to Mysuru. And then and there, he said, they are already operating in Bangalore. They wanted to expand to the other places. And then and there, he said he's very, very happy about the infrastructure and what he has seen in Mysuru. I don't want to name that. They may be somewhere here, Likewise, we wanted to see a few more GCCs coming up, together, if this continues, this snowball effect continues, I think we will accomplish our targets of, getting a $10 billion exports from Mysuru soon. And we'll be working with the government of Karnataka and all of you to make sure that whatever support that KDM can extend, we'll be happy to extend. And there are a lot of industry leaders come to us, and they give their bandwidth for the activities that are doing. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Next, I call to the stage Dr. Ekrup Kaur IAS, Secretary of Department of Electronics, IT, BT, and ST, Government of Karnataka. Over to you, ma'am. That was a small sneak peek of the biggest thing that Bangalore is looking forward to this year. That is the Bangalore Tech Summit. Coming up next, we have the felicitation of different industries. Over the last 1 year, Mysuru has seen a lot of new industries, and we'd like to take a moment to congratulate them and express our gratitude for their role in creating more jobs and enabling the cluster ecosystem. We appreciate your efforts to set up in Mysore, and I'm sure for all these companies, this would be one of their best investments. Requesting the representatives from the following companies to come on stage as their names are being called out for a group photo. I request the dignitaries to present the mementos to the different companies. Pyfly Aerospace Private Limited, Inkshare Technologies, Agaman Life Sciences, Agaman IT Services, Starlights IT Services, eVenture Engineering LLP. I request the following companies to come on stage. Pyfly Aerospace Private Limited. Request the representatives from the company to come on stage. Inkshare Technologies, Inkshare Technologies. I request you to remain on stage for a group photo. Agaman Life Sciences, Agaman IT Services, Starlight IT Services, eVenture Engineering LLP. I request the companies to remain on stage for a group photo. nVenture Engineering LLP. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for the new companies that are setting up in Nama Mysuru? Pyfly Aerospace Private Limited. I request the representatives to come on stage. Thank you. Next up, we'd also like to facilitate our process and Forefront Healthcare for their new expansion to Chamrajnagar district. Guys, can we have a big round of applause for the companies that are looking to change our cities, our Mysore, our Chamrajnagar district? Is that all the enthusiasm we can garner for our cities? I request a different representative of the companies to get off stage. We have the next people coming. Thank you. I would also like to call the representatives of D Matrix, a GCC who is expanding to Mysore, to the stage for the virtual inauguration. I would also like to call the representatives of Agamen, who's expanding to Mysuru, to the stage for the virtual inauguration. All members of Agamen and other companies, please do join us for a group photo. I request all the companies to come in for a group photo. Request Sudhir Shankar, our Mysuru leader, to come on stage. Can we have a big round of applause? Thank you so much for all the new companies that are looking to explore Mysore and Chamarajanagar. Our development in Karnataka and Mysuru will not be possible without you. Next up, a lot of exciting work in Mysuru has been happening, especially in the line of product launches. I request the founders and the team to be prepared to come on stage with their different products. Audience, I request you to cheer our Karnataka startups with the biggest round of applause ever. From Karnataka to the world has always. First up, we have Product Dev Edge Private Limited. I request the representatives from the company to come on stage with their products. Product Dev Edge Private Limited. Product Dev Edge Private Limited is an innovative company redefining the landscape of cosmetic product development. Their flagship product, Maya, is a global B2B Gen AI platform exclusively designed for cosmetic research and development. As the world's only Gen AI solution capable of generating customized cosmetic formulation within 2 minutes, Maya is set to transform the industry. With an Indian patent already secured and a US patent pending, Maya represents the cutting edge of AI-driven innovation in cosmetic foundation. I request the representatives from Agamen Innovation.
We collect from governmental databases from EU, most of the data for ingredients. For the market data, we collected market products, and we have our own business logics, which is what only we were able to crack, not the L'Oreal. So that's why we were able to get the patent.
Next up, we have Agamen Innovation. Agamen Innovation, a trailblazing digital company expanding its footprint in Mysuru, known for its advancements in AI, machine learning, and process automation. Agamen is unveiling 2 game-changing products today.
Yes, yes, yes. So we have lightened the color so that it doesn't look like lipstick. So thank you. So can we take a photo? Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Agaman is here with us. Big congratulations are in due for Agaman is launching two products, Jodetu and Conch. Next up, we have Rank Book Learning and Software Solutions. This EdTech pioneer addresses the needs of South Indian students and job seekers with their flagship product, Dean AI, known as Swapna. Swapna is a conversational AI digital human avatar offering personalized job recommendations, higher education guidance, and mental health support in Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam. With real-time job and exam updates, WhatsApp chat support, and psychometric assessments, Dean AI is a comprehensive career companion democratizing access to crucial career information and mental health resources for millions across South India. I repeat, next up we have Ranbook Learning and Software Solutions Private Limited. I request the dignitaries to launch the product. Next up, I request the audience to give a loud round of applause for the different companies that are coming out with new products. Next up, we have Towner, a startup revolutionizing the taxi and auto sector with digital innovation. Their app empowers drivers as entrepreneurs, offering tools for fare management, earnings tracking, and regulatory compliance. Towner's vision includes investing rupees 5 crore in EV infrastructure, creating 1,000+ jobs with a focus on women empowerment. By improving driver livelihoods and enhancing urban mobility, Towner is set to transform transportation for millions of commuters. From cosmetics to automobiles, there's not a single sector that Mysuru is not excelling in. And can we have one round of applause for how big achievements are being achieved on this stage today? Next up, we have the winners of the Mysuru Blue event that was organized on 18 September. From the 33 registrations we received from startups, we shortlisted 21 startups in the preliminary screening. Following the pitching event, which took place in SJCE STEP, with 7 VCs from across India, presenting to you the top 3 most fundable startups. Mommy Mills Foods Private Limited. We request the representatives from Mommy Mills Food Private Limited to come on stage. TIA Connectors Private Limited. I request the representatives from TIA Connectors to come on stage. Kannada Phonetics. I request the representatives from Kannada Phonetics to come on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for the top 3 most fundable startups from this year's Mysuru Blue? Mommy Mills Foods Private Limited, TIA Connectors, and Kannada Phonetics. The 4th edition of the Big Tech Show is seeing the beginning of several interesting partnerships for KDM. And we would like to announce the different MOUs that we will be signing this year. I request the representatives from the different institutions to join us on stage as their names are being called out. First up, we have Sri Dharmasthala Manjunetheshwara Institute for Management Development. The MOU with SDMIMD will focus developing a center on digital economy where we are going to work on developing cluster level reports on market impact evaluations, availability of talents, and many more in cluster levels. We request the representatives from SDMIMD to come on stage. Next up, I call on stage the representatives from Cloud Security Alliance. This MOU with Cloud Security Alliance will focus on market research, publishing reports, and developing a talent pipeline to meet industry requirements by designing curated reports with a focus on cybersecurity. The community is growing up to 10,000. So now we are interested in building one. It's actually by December. We want to present it in our annual along with this is supposed to be we want and maybe some university from We are also happy to announce KDM's collaboration with ISA Square, Information Security Alliance. This collaboration focuses on developing the talent training ecosystem and training of trainers in the domain of cybersecurity. With that, we come to the end of the felicitations. I request the dignitaries to take their seat. I also call on to the stage Dr. Ekroop Kaur, Secretary of the Department of Electronics, IT, BT, ST, Government of Karnataka.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Very good evening to everyone. It's always difficult to be the speaker at the end of a very long, exciting day. I'm sure all of you had a very interesting day with a lot of power pack sessions, talks by eminent people from all over, and a lot of other activities happening in this event. My congratulations to KDM for putting together a very, very good event with much better participation and much better quality of, the content. In fact, I have been following up and we have worked together for like almost a month or so to see that we bring the best to Mysuru. And this is because all the clusters that we are working on, we have identified 6 clusters, of which 3 we have taken up in the first phase. These clusters are really, really important to us. And KDEM, of course, is the agency, nodal agency for working with the clusters. But the government is completely focused on seeing that all the 3 cities, Mysuru, Hubli, Dharwad, Belgaum, and Mangaluru, they develop and actually surpass Bangalore in many ways. Many things have happened from the time that we met last time. I was here at this event last year as well. A lot of new policies and initiatives have been taken by the department. And I must tell you that in each of these policies, I don't want to run you through the details, but each of the policy that that department has come up with, there is a very, very sharp focus on the clusters beyond Bangalore. In fact, as we talk, we are on the helm of, releasing our latest policy. With the draft policy is going to be released next week. With the increased focus on GCCs and looking at the potential that is there and the kind of geopolitical situation that we are in today, where a lot of companies are looking at India, Karnataka has taken a decision to focus on GCCs. And probably we are the first state in the country which would be coming out with a GCC policy. The draft is going to be released by the Honorable Minister on next Friday. And just to give you a sneak peek into the policy, there is a very, very special focus on the clusters, as I said. We had this entire policy is around 4 major pillars, of which skilling happens to be one of the very, very prominent pillars. And I think not just Bangalore, but entire Karnataka has very, very good skill set, talent pool, which is the strength of the ecosystem. In fact, today, if we are seeing a lot of companies which are coming to Mysuru, it is because there is talent which is available. For many years, people only concentrated on, the capital cities, tier 1 cities and metropolis towns. But today, a lot of companies are coming because there is a lot of talent which is available in these cities. Whether we talk of Mysuru, with Mangalore, or Hubli, Dharwad, Belgaum, each of the clusters is producing close to 25,000 plus engineers every year. We have each cluster is blessed with a large number of engineering colleges, medical colleges, and colleges which are looking at various other courses, including courses which are very much important for the BFSI sector, the retail sector, which is actually now growing in India. So in the policy that we are coming up with, there is a very special focus on skilling. And just you may have read it few days back, the government has also launched a new initiative called Nipuna Karnataka, where we are going to further strengthen our endeavors and our focus on skilling talent. There is some feedback that we have that, the talent, while it is very, very skilled, but the technologies are such that, before you kind of learn one technology, the world has moved ahead. So it's a very, very dynamic sector. And I think continuous training, skilling, reskilling needs to happen. And that is why realizing that gap, government has come up with this Nipun Karnataka program. And what we plan to do is to skill people in partnership with the industry, in partnership with EdTech partners, and any kind of training partner that the industry selects. So it is going to be a very, very flexible program where we are not looking at a particular, like we already have a very well-established skill development department and a whole lot of ITIs and GTTCs which are training people. But most of those training programs are bound by certain parameters. There is a qualification criteria for the training partner. There are certain courses which are taken up, not all. But this new program, which the government has just recently launched, and we will be operationalizing it very shortly, it is completely flexible, and it will be absolutely tailored to the requirement of the industry, and government is going to chip in and take a large part of the cost of that skilling program along with industry partners. It is not 100% funded by government. there will be some amount of participation by the company and by the trainee who's getting trained, but government will certainly facilitate the whole thing and will have a skin in the game. The other important thing that we are looking at under the GCC policy is to encourage R&D. ER&D policy was there in Karnataka, but we have seen that there is, the entire, the focus has now shifted and there is much more. In fact, Bangalore today, if you see, is large number of these companies, their GCC centers are actually the R&D centers for those companies. So we have a very, very sharp focus again on R&D. And the third major pillar in the policy is going to be our incentives, which are for beyond Bangalore. So whether it is skilling, whether it is R&D, whether it is basic support in terms of, starting a company, for hiring a premises, hiring talent, for everything, there is going to be an increased focus in beyond Bangalore. Similarly, we have also come up with 3 other important policies during this last 1 year. I am just highlighting what has happened between the time that we met last time. We came out with an AVGC policy, again with focus on beyond Bangalore, and AVGC is another sector which is really growing very, very fast. Bangalore has a fairly well-developed ecosystem, but there are a lot of companies which are now mushrooming in other towns as well. We are also, again, skilling is an important component of that policy. We have these digital art centers which are set up by the government to ensure that across Karnataka we develop talent. Then we have come up with a biotechnology policy, which is in line with the recent policy which has been announced by Government of India, the Bio E3 policy. Again, biotechnology is seeing a very big boom because of the focus on sustainability, focus on reducing carbon footprint, going net zero, whether it is in agriculture, health, various facets of life sciences. Biotechnology is going to play a very important role. So there is a new policy which has come on biotechnology. Again, that policy was just released about, I think, 3 weeks back. We have a new cybersecurity policy. In fact, probably Karnataka did not, is slightly late in coming up with a dedicated cybersecurity policy. However, now we have a cybersecurity policy in place, and Mysuru is one place which has already made a mark when it comes to cybersecurity. We do intend to have a center of excellence. Under the policy, it has been envisaged that there will be a center of excellence in Bangalore, but Mysuru has been identified as the, as a spoke for that center. And there will be another unit of that cybersecurity COE, which will come up in Mysuru. So why I'm telling all of this is that whether it is IT, biotechnology, I haven't got to ESDM yet, which is, I think the biggest strength of Mysuru when it comes both in terms of, the technology companies as well as manufacturing. In all these segments, we are seeing that we bring sharp focus into the clusters. So Mysuru, as I see today, and in fact, it's very heartwarming to notice that, in the last 1 year, 8 new companies have opened their offices. We are very proud of IBM. Mr. Nisar is over here. They opened their office, and they are like one of our, poster boys, because we showcase them everywhere. They have grown tremendously in Mysuru. This year, they're going to double their strength. So these are the stories which are happening in Mysuru, which create confidence. And in fact, this afternoon, Mr. Sanjeev had curated a couple of one-on-one discussions with companies. There is a lot of interest which I see coming into Mysuru. And my purpose of, telling all of this to you is that while we may be working out of Bangalore, but we are now we're really focused on Mysuru, Bangalore, and Hubli, Dharwad, Belgaum. In the days to come, you will see a lot of growth which is happening. Recently, EMC cluster has been approved by Government of India. Already land acquisition has happened in Kochanalli. And with the help of government's EMC 2.0 scheme, we will be investing heavily in the infrastructure, the common infrastructure, and setting up of the industrial park. and it will be dedicated for electronics manufacturing. This afternoon, we had a very fruitful discussion, short but very meaningful and result-oriented with the PCB manufacturers, all the players in the PCB ecosystem. And as Mr. Naidu was also mentioning, within the course of 45 minutes, we were able to evince a lot of interest and almost like, certain commitments where they have committed that they will come and they will be very keen to set up their units in Mysuru. In fact, in all probability, I will be meeting the group again in next week or the following week, and we will take it forward to bring, to keep showcasing Mysuru to all the ecosystem players. Over the last 1 year, a lot of curated delegations have been brought to Mysuru. We recently had a tech yatra, which was with the support of ISA, where we had brought a lot of people from the ESDM domain to see Mysuru, because seeing is believing. A lot of us keep hearing, that, and especially when government says that tier 2 is developing, we think, okay, kuch hoega, government kar rahi hoegi, but you don't really believe that actually, things have changed. Somebody just mentioned that he's come here after 40 years, and Mr. Jain, I think, was mentioning that, and he was blown away with the kind of development he's seen. So seeing is actually believing, and that is why over last 1 year, we have brought this, all the important stakeholders from the electronics and the semiconductor ecosystem by organizing a tech yatra to Mysuru. In fact, all of them came in one bus, and the entire day was spent together sharing experiences. There were people who are already present in Mysuru who spoke to them. It helps in confidence building. We have so many facilities which have been created for the electronics ecosystem, including the Lehri testing facility. So the delegation visited Lehri, they visited the upcoming Kochanhalli park, and then we had some discussions with them. And we also brought in companies which are already working in Mysuru. Mysuru has very, very prominent homegrown companies like Canes is there. Then we have other companies like Vinyas, and then we have ATNS, which are all in the electronics and semiconductor space. Mr. JC was also there with us that day. And again, we saw very, very good response in that tech yatra. A couple of months back, we had brought the GCC Council of NASSCOM to visit Mysuru. Prominent GCC leaders from Mysuru had come, from Bangalore had come to Mysuru. And believe me, every time the response is almost similar, that, we'd heard that things are changing, but we didn't know that it had changed so much. And mostly the response has been very positive, very, very encouraging. And the way things are shaping up, because these decisions do take some time. It is not that, company can open a new office overnight or in a week or month's time. These decisions take some time, but believe me, there is a lot that is on way, and Mysuru is certainly going to get a very, very fair share of the entire development which is going to happen in this region. A lot of other initiatives which the department has taken is our, focus on startups. Again, Mysuru has almost close to 500 startups which are operating here. And we have number of schemes which have been introduced besides our flagship program that we have, Elevate, which we have done 8 rounds, and a total funding of about 225 crores has been given to the startups. About 983 startups in all have been supported by Elevate. In fact, just now also we had one Elevate winner who did their product launch. So besides Elevate, which has been there for 5-6 years, and it has already shown a lot of results, in recent few months, we have introduced a couple of new initiatives, which I thought I will share with you. One of the initiatives is We Escalate. It is focused only on women. In fact, as I was coming on the stage, I said, I am the only lady, on the stage. We should have more women, and we should have more women in the audience as well. So We Escalate is one of the programs which is being done to support women entrepreneurs. And it is more like a mentoring and an acceleration program for women startups. Then we have introduced Rajiv Gandhi Entrepreneurship Program. which is basically meant for people who have, who have an idea, who want to work on a startup, want to have their own enterprise, but don't have the appetite to take the financial risk. So it's more like a financial security that we offer by a monthly support of 25,000 for a period of 1 year for people who want to toy with a new idea. Another initiative which has been strengthened, it is not new, it was pre-existing, is the NAIN initiative, which is network of, these innovation centers. These are colleges which are selected across Karnataka and they are funded for student projects. NAIN first phase is over and this year we have started NAIN 2.0. And what we have done this time is that we have also identified an anchor institute. For Mysore and this entire region, it will be Triple IT Bangalore, which is the Anchor Institute. So the Anchor Institute will actually nurture these startups, these student projects, explain to them what exactly, how they can refine their idea, how they can actually convert it into a product and at a later stage also commercialize it. IPs is going to be a very important focus of this program. In NAIN 1.0, we saw about 40 IPs being filed by students across Karnataka, which is, I think, very, very significant. So the effort of the department is to see that, we take innovation, we make it a part of the culture, and it should not be limited to Bangalore, but it should become part of every part of Karnataka. While in phase 1, we have selected some of the more prominent and upcoming clusters. In phase 2, we are even looking at places like Kalburgi and other cities which are still not there on the tech space, but we would want to work with them as well. So I would just want to once again, would like to give you that confidence that those of you who are planning to open their offices in Bangalore, in Mysuru, or you are looking at having your own enterprise in Mysuru, certainly you will get all the support from government. We are committed to see that these areas grow on par and probably even, improve on what has not happened in Bangalore should happen in these clusters. And we have Mr. Sanjeev Gupta and his team from KDEM, which are totally geared to support you in every which way. They have done a lot of documentation of, the talent availability, who can be your skilling partner. They help you in identifying talent. They help you in identifying premises for setting up your office. So every kind of support or handholding that is required for any new entrepreneur or any new company coming and setting up its office, end-to-end support is provided by KDEM. And that is why in last 2 years, 2 to 3 years, of course, when KDEM started, we were still coming out of COVID. So it took some time for it to stabilize. But in last 2.5 years, there has been a lot of positive development in all the 3 clusters. Mysuru is focused on electronics, cybersecurity, and allied areas. Mangalore, we are trying to develop it as a fintech hub. Hubli, Dharwad, Belgaum always was known for its automotive and ancillary industry. Now there is a lot of traction towards drones and artificial intelligence. So we are also trying to see that each of these clusters have some specialization so that we don't spread ourselves very thin. And when you have similar industries placed in one area, that itself gives a lot of synergetic effect. So that's the endeavor that we have. And very, very heartwarming to see that, there is a lot of enthusiasm in all these clusters. To showcase what has happened in Bangalore and, the journey of last, say, 2 decades plus, we have been, we get together every year in an annual event called Bangalore Tech Summit. And it is a complete, a very, very end-to-end showcase of all that is happening in Bangalore. We typically used to have 3 prominent verticals, which is IT, biotechnology, and startups. This year, we are introducing a new vertical in Bangalore Tech Summit, which is electronics and semiconductor, because we all know that is where the focus of the government is, government of India, state government. And I think the world is looking at us because They never expected that, we will have a fab in India, we will have all this kind of manufacturing, cutting edge technologies coming to India. But that is what is happening. And so therefore, recognizing the importance of ESDM sector to the entire ecosystem, we have introduced this new vertical. This event is actually like a prelude to BTS, and I think all of you must participate in BTS as well. In fact, we are creating a very special window for all our startups and companies from beyond Bangalore. There is a separate pavilion which would be provided for these companies, and speaking and other opportunities where we would like to showcase, because we want people who come and congregate at BTS to see what is happening beyond Bangalore. So that's another thing which I thought I must share with you, that all of you must participate, and we will ensure that you get that kind of visibility which you desire, which you may at some point feel that you are not getting it in Mysuru. You will certainly get it in that event. And with that, I once again congratulate all the companies which have set up their office here. I'm sure you will find a lot of value in moving to Mysuru. In fact, even Chamrajnagar, there are two new enterprises that we just felicitated. You will find a lot of value. And I want to assure you once again that the department, the government, the department, and KDEM is all geared to support you in your journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I request Mr. B.V. Naidu, Chairman of KDM, to give a token of appreciation from the Mysuru cluster to Dr. Ekru Kaur, ma'am, for all the support that has been offered by the government of Karnataka to Mysuru and other emerging technology cities. I also request I request Mr. Darshan sir to join us on stage. I request Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, CEO of KDIM, to give a token of our gratitude to all the industry catalysts of Mysuru to ensuring the growth of Mysuru. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for all the leaders that we have on stage who have enabled the development of Karnataka, of Bangalore and Mysore. Thank you very much. I request the dignitaries to take a seat. We have a lot to be thankful for this beautiful day, this stellar audience, the amazing members of governance and different industry anchors, whom all played a pivotal role in developing the Mysuru ecosystem. It is to express this gratitude that I call onto the stage our CEO, Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, to address the gathering.
No, there's nothing else. That's fine. Thank you. What a thanks. Thank you. I take this opportunity to thank all of your support for a great event. It's been fantastic 2 days. As you have seen that we have grown from a social media promotion program to an event to be looked for by the industry. So this could not have been possible if support was not available for us wherever we sought for. So right from the department, wherever we have gone to the government, to the department, with innovative ideas, or probably I would say crazy ideas, we have not been shunned, but we have been promoted, we have been supported. And this is something which would not be possible if we would not have the support of Ekrup Kaur Madam. And I thank for all the support that we are receiving from her, from the government of Karnataka. I could talk about this for many more hours, but to be very precise, in fact, the kinetic energy that we are receiving behind this momentum is coming from the push that we are receiving from the government. So I thank you again for the support, madam. While we are receiving this momentum, on the other side, while the push is there, the pull is also equally available to us from the industry. Industry has been more than reciprocative. They have been open to ideas and suggestions. And every time we go back to the industry with something, we are surprised with the enthusiasm they are filling us with. So if we are going with 1x, by we come out with 4x or 10x energy after each of the meeting. Whatever we are doing is just connecting two dots. But however, the industry is so energetically participating with us, not only sparing their time, they are also ready to join hands with us, work with us, and also invest with us in making this happen. So we are now taking the engagement to the next level. We are grooming ourselves to become thought leaders in this domain. And this would not have been possible if we did not have the industry. And I have heard from many of our partners who, of course, we are in a competition. There are other states that we are always competing with to attract investments. Our industry partners who work with other states have come back and they have shared their experience that KDM's secret recipe is something which is not available anywhere outside. And I would always acknowledge that secret recipe is from the industry, because policy and the direction to the policy is coming from the industry. And this is something which we are thankful for. So I thank all the industry participants, all the industry leaders who are with us today in the dais, off the dais, in this gathering, and whoever is not in this event, but being supportive to us for this creation of this ecosystem, being an ecosystem partner. While we have the industry, it's also equally important that the industry works with academia. So we have been very closely working with academic organizations. We have had very dynamic academic leadership join hands with us. Now, from a point of being a TPO, talent placement officer's requirement, we are moving towards publishing reports. We are moving towards understanding market dynamics. We are looking towards developing intellectual sense of direction for what we are trying to do. And that's a progression which could not have happened if we did not have academic support. So I thank all the academic partners with us who are here with us in this journey today. While all of this is happening, and statistics that is of importance as our chairman had mentioned, today's participation, 65% of today's delegates are out of Mysuru. They're not from Mysuru. So the level of attention that we are getting and people are taking effort to come to Mysuru is something which we are very happy to share. And we look forward to more such engagements. While we are talking about outside Mysuru, one thing is very important, that people who are outside India are also equally keen and working with us. So we have a large NRI community who is working and also helping us with new ideas on how we have to promote this at an international stage. So we thank the NRI community as well as all the delegates who have come, who are out of Mysore to this program. We could not have pulled off this event without the support of Infosys. Infosys has been a strong pillar with us, and I would say Infosys has also probably kindled the curiosity of many of the participants and helped us to grow the numbers of the delegates. So Infosys has been a great events partner with us. They have supported, and their professional team has made our organizing effort a breeze. We have not really bothered too much on worrying on what to organize. Everything is in place. We just like a plug and play facility. We come and do our events. Thank you so much, Vinayak Hegde sir, for your support. And we look forward for having more such events. In fact, first time when we came, they asked, what is the size of the hall you want? Do you want the 300 one or the 1,000 one? So we were taken aback with the offer that we received from Infosys. So we look forward to grow to the 1,000, sir. Maybe next year or the coming years, we will be definitely having this event in the 1,000-seater hall. So, while this event, I take this opportunity to thank all my colleagues in KDM who have tirelessly worked with us, and all the volunteers who have come and joined in this program from various academic organizations and partner organizations who have been collaborating with us. So we have till now signed 18 MOUs with partner organizations. We look forward to reach at least 50 and grow this in multifolds. So I take this opportunity to thank my colleagues and also all the delegates who have come here. Look forward to see you again and again, and all the startups who have put their stalls here. We would want to see some of you announce that you have got the Series A in next event, or you have gone to the commercialization stage, or you have hit a balance sheet of 10 million by next year. And that is the kind of momentum we would like to build to you. So let's make Mysore bigger, better, and greater. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sudhir. None of this would have been possible without you. With this, we come to the end of the 4th edition of the Big Tech Show. I request all our partners to come on stage for a group photo. Once again, I request all partners of KDM to come on stage for a group photo. I request all the partners and members of the organizing team for the Big Tech Show to come on stage for a group photo. Members of the organizing team, please do come on stage for a... Members from the organizing team of KDIM and all other partners of KDIM, I request all of you to come on stage for a group photo.
Inside Out team, KDM team, volunteers, interns, please come to stage.